You're listening to Fate 40 and Beyond, the podcast for women figuring life out in real time with honesty, humor, and space to breathe. I'm Jen, the host and your favorite spiritual bestie. I'm also the owner of Soulful Existence, where I offer one-on-one readings for tarot, astrology, and mediumship, as well as past life regression and energy cleansings. Today is a mini episode. This topic came up in the podcast episode I just recorded, which will probably come out in a couple of weeks. But I think it's a super important topic to discuss, especially because women tend to neglect this part of ourselves. I want to talk about love languages, but not in the way that we normally talk about them. Normally, we talk about how to love another partner or how to love our kids, but not necessarily how we love ourselves with our love languages. And I think it's so important to turn that focus towards us, because who else is going to do that but us? I think most of us at this point in our lives know how to show love to other people. Like, we're pretty good at it. We probably overly express love sometimes in the hope that it'll get returned tenfold as well. We're generous with it. We're intuitive with it. We notice the small things when it's not returned back. But when it comes to us, typically, and this is my own experience, we skip straight to criticism, pressure, or neglect. And I think neglect is the biggest one. And then we wonder why we feel disconnected, or burnt out, or resentful, even when life outside of us looks fine. So today I want to flip the question around. How do you feel cared for by yourself? How do you feel loved by yourself? First, let's talk about the 5 love languages. We have words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, physical touch, and gifts. I know what my favorites are. As I mentioned those, some probably felt better than others. We're taught to use these to communicate love for other people. But here's the thing that people won't say out loud. If you don't practice your own love language internally, you will constantly look for it externally. That's where disappointment, overgiving, and emotional exhaustion start to sneak in. This isn't about becoming hyper independent or shutting people out. It's just about closing the gap between what you need and what you're actually giving yourself. That one hurts. So as I go through these, I want you to notice something gently inside of you. Which one or multiple of ones make you feel uncomfortable? Which one feels awkward to offer yourself? Which one feels like, that's nice, but I don't really have time for that? Because those are probably the ones that you need the most. And that's how we start to neglect ourselves. So let's jump in. Words of affirmation, but for yourself, because that's tough. If your love language is words of affirmation, you probably hype up other people really easily. Without effort, you probably encourage, you reassure, you soften hard moments with kindness. But internally, a lot of people with this love language tend to have a mean narrator in their head. Affirmations aren't about lying to yourself or forcing positivity. They're about how you speak to yourself when things aren't going well. So I want you to ask yourself, when I make a mistake, do I insult myself? Do I motivate myself with fear or shame? Do I only speak kindly to myself after I've earned it? Self-love in this language sounds like, I'm allowed to learn as I go. This is hard, but I'm still showing up. I don't need to punish myself to grow. And here's the hard truth. If the voice you hear in your head is critical, your nervous system will never feel safe, because words matter, even if no one else hears them. Moving on to quality time with yourself. This one sneaks up on people because quality time doesn't mean scrolling while half thinking about your to-do list. It doesn't mean being alone but mentally elsewhere. It means real presence. If this is your love language, you probably feel drained, not because you're busy, but because you never actually arrive anywhere. You're probably always thinking ahead, you're always replaying something, or you're managing everyone else's needs. Quality time with yourself can look like doing one thing without multitasking, sitting with a thought instead of distracting from it, letting yourself enjoy something without turning it into content, productivity, or proof. That one's hard for me. This can be uncomfortable at first because when I slow down, feelings start to show up. But avoidance isn't peace, it's just delay. Real quality time builds trust within ourselves. It tells our systems, I'm here and I'm listening. Let's move into acts of service, but for ourselves. This one hits hard for caretakers. If this is your love language, you're probably really amazing at doing things for other people. You're able to anticipate needs, you handle all the logistics, you make life easier for everyone else. But how about yourself? I can probably guess that you tend to run on empty and call it strength and powering through. Acts of service for yourself aren't dramatic, but they're practical. It can be things like preparing something ahead so that future you isn't stressed. Keeping promises to yourself, even the little ones. Making your environment supportive instead of chaotic. This isn't about perfection or control. It's about asking, what would help me feel supported right now? And then actually doing it. And this isn't because you've earned it, but it's because you matter and you're worth it. Let's talk about physical touch, but for yourself, and get your mind out of the gutter because this one is often misunderstood. Physical touch isn't just about attention from others. It's about feeling safe in your body. And that one's hard. A lot of people are disconnected here, especially if they've lived in survival mode for a really long time. Physical touch for yourself can look like putting a hand on your chest when you're overwhelmed, stretching instead of pushing through discomfort, resting without guilt, choosing clothes, showers, and movement that feels regulating instead of punishing. And even that really nice lotion that you save for special occasions. Because if your love language is physical touch and it's unmet, you're probably living in your head most of the time. So learning to come back into your body is an act of trust. Your body isn't the enemy, it's the messenger, and we need to listen. Here's another tough one. Gifts for yourself that aren't rewards. This one gets dismissed a lot because gifts aren't always about spending money or being materialistic. What really matters about gifts is the thoughtfulness and intention. People with this love language feel loved when something says, I thought of you. So what does that look like for ourselves? Giving yourself small joys without needing a reason. Not postponing pleasure until everything is done. Allowing beauty, comfort, or fun to exist in your life now, not later. If you only let yourself have good things after achievement, your nervous system stays in scarcity mode. Gifts for yourself are reminders, not rewards. They're reminders that life isn't on hold and that every day is special. Now, how do we do this for ourselves on a regular basis? Because this is the part that I want to share. You don't need to master all 5 of these. You don't need to fix anything. Just notice which one feels the most neglected. That's where you've been outsourcing your needs. That's where resentment quietly grows in the background. And that's more than likely where burnout starts. Loving yourself in your own love language doesn't mean you don't need others. It means you stop abandoning yourself first. So maybe this week, you try one small thing. One sentence spoken kindly to yourself. One moment of presence. One supportive action. One grounding touch, or one thoughtful gift. Not to become better, not to heal faster, just to better the relationship with yourself. Because after all, the longest relationship you'll ever have is the one with you. Thank you so much for listening. This is definitely a topic that I needed to hear for myself. I know I tend to put all of my energy outward and forget to bring it back to me every now and then. So it was a really good topic to bring up this week. Also, I want to share, I got this really cute little mug. I will probably end up putting these up for others to buy. I just haven't thought about it, like how or where yet. And then on the back are the really cute little tarot cards. But I'm really in love with this. It's so cute. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know how soon I'm going to do that, but it will happen. And thank you to everyone who is listening so far. It really makes all of this hard work worth it. If you feel inclined, I would love if you share our episodes with people because there are so many amazing women who have joined me so far and more upcoming episodes that I haven't even been able to edit yet or put out yet. I can't wait until those are released. But these women have become vulnerable for other people to learn from and gain their wisdom from. And it's so important that those are shared with other women like us who just need to hear it every now and then. So if you could share the episode, I would love it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you have the notifications on. I'm trying to release these every Saturday now, usually in the afternoon or evening, but keep an eye out for the next full episode next week. Have a great day.